Hello YouTube, this is Animal Wisdom for Healing. I am here to do a reading for those of you whose love is a Scorpio. It is November 24th, 2017, and I'm using Medicine Cards by Jamie Sams and David Carson. These cards are prepared and ready to go. I like to shuffle these cards and let them fall where they may to discover how does your Scorpio love see you, the viewers, emotionally, spiritually. How do they see you in terms of the 3D physical world? How do they respond to your deepest desire and think about you and so on? So now let's just see if we can get a card here. How does your Scorpio love see you? Let's see if we can just get one card here. How does your Scorpio love respond to your deepest desires? Scorpio love, deepest desires. What does your Scorpio love think of you? What is the overall view of your Scorpio love? What do they have of you? Overall view. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we had grace reversed, hard work, and fear. Okay, let me just see these cards for a moment. So reversed swan is a warning to acknowledge what you know, admit. It could refer to a lack of focus. Swan is about spiritual grace and the gifts that come through accepting, simply accepting the will of Great Spirit's plan, entering into you could say, they say the void or the dream time, to know and to hear the will of Great Spirit. And so reversed, there could be a resistance, a reluctance. But if you are on the path of spiritual evolving, then this could be new territory. And you just simply need to pay attention, realize the difference between rational left brain thinking and that right brain, more spiritual intuition, feeling. You might be spaced out as you're evolving. So a lack of focus, you might need to ground and choose one or the other. Either meditate and intuit and listen to the silence, or focus and act. Stop daydreaming. Stop spacing out. So you're working on achieving this state of grace. And this card right below is speaking of hard work, speaking of building, speaking of creating, and it's achieving things little step by little step at a time. So beaver builds dams. So beaver also speaks of, having exit routes, having your back doors, your escape hatches ready, if necessary, in order not to block the flow of life with a dam. Limitations block productivity, so you don't want that. The water still must flow through. There still must be flow through these dams that they build. Finally, there's fear here. In fear, this type of fear through rabbit is specifically about not wanting to accept or believe or see, not wanting to believe in magic, not wanting to know that that is what it actually is. It's kind of speaking towards this reversed swan. You might be at a place in your life spiritually where you're not wanting to accept what you know to be true due to a type of fear. You might be calling the things to you in your life that you're afraid of in order to learn from them and sort of conquer them and move past that. You might be trying to learn how to move past dams or blocks in your life that are blocking the flow. Or there could be a type of fear to begin this work. Anyway, let's take a look at the cards and see what else these messages have to say. If you have a Scorpio love, the way that they are viewing you spiritually and emotionally is one of leadership and one of taking responsibility for all the power and grace and stealth, physical grace and stealth of mountain lion who hunts and kills only what they need to survive. Nonetheless, that power and grace and ability to respond and take responsibility, okay, there's a, people in a position of power are often targets for others who can't take responsibility and are targets for others who aren't doing their job well. So your Scorpio love might be seeing you as someone who is blamed for, everyone else screwing stuff up, or the perfect justification for the insecurities of others. This is about the use and abuse of power in leadership. So, Puma is a balance of power, physical strength, body, mind, spirit. It's standing on one's convictions. Others may follow or not. Another issue, it's not an issue, but another aspect of Mountain Lion is the idea of telling the truth. The idea of being a true leader is someone who can tell the truth and know it and live it. That's the other aspect of this. And truth tellers are often targeted as being false, being crazy, being conspiracy theorists, this kind of thing. So emotionally, your Scorpio love is seeing you as this kind of person, very powerful and strong, able to take responsibility and fend off its enemies. But it's almost like, at what cost? Just standing up and fighting for oneself and telling the truth. A lot of times these people are targeted, taken out, denied, ignored, ridiculed, killed, Anyway, your Scorpio love, whatever the case, is seeing you emotionally as a very, powerful person, a truth teller. And and that's good. In terms of the material 3D world, salmon here is a return to the source. Salmon is that inner wisdom and knowing of where is home and how to get there, and having that strength to fight all the obstacles going straight upstream against the tide. These guys are pretty, connected here. And then reversed, we had beaver here, and the idea of dams being blocked, the flow being blocked. So reversed salmon, are you ignoring the wise advice of others? Is your inner wisdom, are you ignoring your own inner wisdom? You need to find the flow. Are you distracted or confused? So, have you been a follower? Are you afraid and just not believing what you know inwardly to be true? I'm getting the idea that there's a blockage. There's a block in the flow, dammed up. You might need to call on this medicine here, this mountain lion that can go on its own, stand up to others. This is the reverse in terms of the material 3D world. Your Scorpio love is seeing you as someone who needs to get back in touch with your inner wisdom, your heart, your feelings. Where did you go astray from your instincts? Where did you get backtracked? Where did you get sidetracked? It's like go with the flow. Find your inner wisdom and knowing again. In terms of how your Scorpio love is responding to your deepest desires, there's two things. This is that heavy energy that I think we were looking at about a month ago. They are responding in terms of transmutation. Transmutation is that taking of the poison, integrating it, and coming out stronger for it. Transmutation is alchemy. Taking something terrible, turning it into something good. This is the energy of fire. This is the energy of passion, of creation, of, sexuality, of psychic energy, spiritual ascension. It's a divine energy. Of coming into oneness, of taking two into one, okay? And if you think of, that symbol, that strange symbol of medicine, which is two snakes intertwining, up a rod. You see that on ambulances. It's definitely weird. Like, what does that even mean? There's a lot of ideas out there for sure. But the idea of male and female energy creating healing, accepting all aspects of one's life, transmutation, desire, vitality, intellect, charisma. It's just heavy magic, really. But it's a change of consciousness. It's sort of, I want to say, magician. It's different from a cycle of life, death, rebirth, like new life out of death. It's not that. It's still the same snake who sheds its skin and goes on and continues weaving through, the sand. That snake hasn't died, but it has a type of new life. It's shed its skin, It's a change without actually going through a death. It has this concept of creation and creativity and procreativity. It's a type of heavy magic, okay? So, then we go into grouse, and this is in terms of how your Scorpio love is responding to your deepest desires. I mean, this is great. It's almost like they're in the, you know, the wizard's tower, and they're working on creating their magic. Going in here into grouse, which is like, a sacred mating dance. Grouse is an amazing bird. I'm thinking of the sagebrush grouse and the males and their dance that they do. The dance, the spiral dance of life, which again speaks of sexuality. I mean, it's an elaborate courtship, and it goes on for weeks. And they do this display. They do this rhythmic body action to attract their mate. And this is so Scorpio, right? But it's like this going forward, pulling back. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. They have this rhythm. You can go ahead and look this up online somewhere where the male is dancing. They make a sound like stop, and then they freeze. Stop, and they freeze. It's very weird. And the females are kind of like off on the sidelines watching, choosing, deliberating, discriminating which one of these males they're going to choose. And it's absolutely fascinating. It is a spiral dance. It's a display. It's an act. It's a courtship. The spiral itself, embodied with the dance and what they signify. The spiral, is used in vision quests for seeking a vision, seeking enlightenment, transcending to higher states of awareness. So it's like this major spiritual, I don't even know if growth is the right word. Sufi dancing is a system through dancing through the body and rhythmic motion of getting to know Great Spirit and the divine source. So you're being invited to dance. You have to realize how your Scorpio love is interacting with you is a dance. And all this heavy Scorpio transmutation of energies. Look at these eggs just waiting to be birthed, being carefully protected. Like life cycles waiting to come out into being. And it's beautiful. It's a creation. It's an act of beauty. How does your Scorpio love think of you? What do they think of you intellectually? And here we have Squirrel, which is a gathering energy. They kind of might see you as running around crazy all over the place, like Squirrel does. A frenetic energy. Tons of energy. Are you running around going nuts as you're, collecting things that you need for your future, maybe? Are you preparing? Like the Boy Scout of of the neighborhood. Are you always prepared? Are you clearing out your clutter? Are you getting rid of things that you don't need? Always a good thing to do. Get rid of all the junk so that you can make space for the things that you want and need. But in terms of clearing out, squirrel, for all its running around in frenetic energy, which is one aspect, which can be hard to deal with. There's another aspect of squirrel, energy here, which is having a safe place, that secret spot somewhere where they keep all their nuts, where they keep all their treasures. And, I believe that special place is an untroubled heart and mind. Okay? And what do you put in an untroubled heart and mind? You put in love and wisdom, caring energies. So, squirrel medicine is like saying, don't worry, everything will be taken care of in its own time. What you need will come to you. You got this, you're prepared, you're ready. There should be no fears of the future. So your Scorpio love is seeing you as someone who's just really prepared, really kind of got it together. And emotionally and spiritually, I think your Scorpio love sees you as just a really together, responsible person. Maybe you've lost your way a little bit here in terms of the material 3D world. You might be going in circles. Maybe you are not sure where that uncluttered heart and mind is right now. Maybe your responsibilities have you going nuts. And you've lost your way to your heart in that special place of untroubled, that knowing of where am I going, who am I? But nonetheless, they are responding very positively to you. However, their overall view of you, and also this is meant to be how they respond immediately to your presence, is very tricky and confusing here, because we have Coyote, who's the trickster, we have Dragonfly, which is illusions. So their overall view of you is someone who, this is self-sabotage. And I hope you're not doing that. This is illusions. Are you they're on the spiritual path with this in terms of partnership with you, But this reverse swan is speaking of again, those dams and blockages. So, trickster, this is like, watch out. Joker's wild here. They see you as maybe, gosh. I want to say unreliable, but that's not what Mountain Lion speaks to. Maybe, Coyote love. Coyote does not make a good lover. Coyote is a trickster and is unreliable, but it's a sacred energy because it's also about laughter, goofiness. This speaks to having kind of lost your way in this world right now. Lost your direction, lost real knowing of where you're going. And are you having fun with this? Is this all like just a joke to you? The idea of illusions here. Coyote teaches us lessons about ourselves. Nowhere near as painfully as, Snake might, but just that goofiness. Falling into our own traps, forgetting to learn from mistakes, foolishness, okay? Coyote is a type of foolishness that teaches everyone, Wile E. Coyote. It's funny. It's funny when he, gets run over by a train and doesn't know what hit him, and then he goes back and says, "Did I get hit by a train?" And it happens again. Boom, So, what are you doing here? What are you really doing? Are you conscious of your pathway? Do you see through this foolishness? Do you know what you're doing? It's good to joke around and make people laugh and all this kind of stuff, but I think your Scorpio love is a bit concerned that you're not seeing. This speaks of illusions that dragonfly is a type of magic with these iridescent, magically colored wings. Dragon is considered a mythical creature associated with magic, transformative, shifting colors, right? The winds of change. The dragonfly flies through the air. So it's like the winds of change, and with coyote, it's like, yeah, change is definitely in the air. We don't know what's coming. It's like it could come from above, it could come from below. Does your Scorpio love see you as change is coming? But then there's like this wild card energy here. Do you know where you're going with this salmon in reverse? For all this frenetic energy that you're putting out there, and all these responsibilities that you're doing, maybe this is emotionally right here. But in terms of this 3D world, do you know where you're going? Do you know what you're doing? Maybe, what are the illusions that are chaining you down mentally or emotionally? What is it that you need to change? Remember, with these two cards, both of them are speaking to the idea that things just aren't really what they seem. Let's see if we can get some clarification on those two center cards there in terms of your Scorpio love's overall view of you. Coyote and dragonfly, what is this all about? Get some clarification here. Ooh. Okay, natural law, sacred law. I also see this as the twin flame card. I mean, check this out, right? We have Crow, who is the gateway to the great void. What is the great void? The void is where Great Spirit lives, right? The void, where everything comes from. The gateway to the supernatural. Crow is the gateway. And then, so, it's like it's looking at its twin here, the light and the dark, the yin and yang. Crow. The keeper of sacred law. Sacred law is not human law. Sacred law is like kind of a universal rules, such as, this is just for an example, that all things are born of woman. Should be, used to be. Crow. This speaks sort of like this one here. In terms of shape-shifting, I know I mentioned that with Dragonfly, shape-shifting. If you're familiar with the works of Carlos Castaneda, he spoke of, this shape-shifting shamanic energy, a specific type of magic, remote viewing, being able to control yourself in your dreams, this kind of thing. So this is definitely an intense energy in terms of bending physical laws, becoming your future self, realizing that you can shift your reality. Anyway, this is very intense. It's like Masters of Illusion. Crow sees all the illusion in the world. Salmon. Okay, so in terms of this emotional stuff here with reverse salmon, clarification on that is the need to integrate life's experiences, your life experiences, the good and the bad. You need to roll with the punches here. We spoke about energies being blocked and dammed, and how you've got to put holes in there in these backdoor exits so that the energy can still go through, and that you're not blocking up the way. Okay, so in terms of alligator, it's like appreciate all of life's experiences, digest all of life's pleasures and pains. If you're feeling stuck, laugh. Use coyote energy here to laugh. Laugh at, your own seriousness. Get rid of the rigidity and the stiffness to break through, become more flexible. Expand your former limits. Break on through to the other side. This is what Crow is saying here. And also dragonfly. It's like you're still transforming. I mean, obviously this is a work in progress, but there's this idea of becoming more flexible with alligator. Count your victories, count your rites of passage. Consider all the possibilities before making your move. Avoid judgment. Natural law is greater than human law. So it's almost like you need to expand your mind, open up to greater possibilities. Laugh more, become more flexible, don't be so serious. Mountain lion and squirrel are both just very driven, serious, type people. And here, I wanted to clarify the squirrel energy. We've got, this could be part of the block. Reversed frog is like, there is a burnout energy here. There is a need for replenishment, revitalization, for cleansing. Just, I think you're working too hard and you're going through changes in your life, and if all you do is focus on work, then your spiritual path in this world will become neglected or avoided, or maybe you're judging something. Laugh, laugh, coyote, laugh. I don't know, I mean, is it time to embrace your twin flame that wants to come towards you? Are you resisting this? Are you trying to play it safe? Because replenishment, for clarifying the squirrel, is speaking to needing to rejuvenate. So if you're exhausted, if you're frustrated, if you're empty, if you're broken inside, brittle, cleanse yourself of negativity, of distractions. Get into some water, relax, take a spa day, get some healing and positive energy. Give to yourself, cleanse away the mud. You're in need of healing here. So in the reverse, it's like you're stuck in the mud, yeah. Your energy's been drained. Someone's pissing in your lily pond. Take a break. Take a real break and replenish yourself before you just, get so overwhelmed. Maybe you're in too much water. It's either not enough water or too much water. Anyway, you need a break from your routine. You got to get away from some negativity, and you have to refill your spirit with some healing waters of life. So yeah, what else can our animal friends give us for advice? Okay, dreams. Listen to your dreams. Recognize your dreams. Believe in your dreams. When we have a dream, this is like our first thought of what we want to manifest in our physical reality. So pay attention to your dreams. And what are you dreaming up? Pay attention to your dreams. Reversed whale. You got too much going on in your head. You're not following that honing device, your internal radar. There's too much chatter to hear. You need to relax. Get back into nature. Feel the heartbeat, the drum beat. You need to know the truth. You need to connect. Know what's in your heart. Find your true story. What is in your heart? What are you dreaming up? What is your message that is too much chatter? What's the message? Here we have Hawk, the messenger, in reverse. It's like, are you in denial? Are you shut down? Is something too painful for you to accept and hear? Is there chaos and confusion? Are you too emotionally involved, or just too much chatter? Again, this idea of just this frenetic energy, being burned out, having lost your way. Now remember, this is how your Scorpio Love sees you, and it's like, I feel like they are on a grounding, steady path. I feel like they're sending assistance your way. They're sending you this alchemy through the dance of life. It's like, it's okay, But this is still a pretty crazy, confusing time somehow. The message can't get through. You can't hear the songs. You can't hear... Free. You need to free yourself. Flying upright is a privilege. Right now you're grounded and you're stuck, I guess. Open up your powers of observation. See. Open up and see. Listen to your dreams. Listen to the music. Let's see. I'd like to take some Wisdom for Healing here by Carolyn Meese. See what kind of wisdom for healing we can get for this reading. These cards for over here. Wisdom for healing for those with a Scorpio love. I feel like they are supportive of what also feels like a chaotic life situation of yours. I feel like your Scorpio love is just holding the circle for you. Wisdom for healing for this reading. Keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming. Wisdom for healing. Scorpio love. Assess your relationship. Well, here we have this image here. You know, I originally started this channel as a healing channel for twin flames, and then I thought, no, I don't want to limit the readings in that way, but I'm telling you, this energy just keeps manifesting itself out to me anyway. This says, identify one dynamic or component of a close relationship that's vital to your emotional and physical health. This is especially important if your healing in a particular relationship is causing you stress. If your relationship is a healthy union, celebrate. Your goal is to integrate your relationship into the quality of your life. Yeah, I feel like you're resisting somehow this Scorpio love. You're working hard, you're taking care of business, and you know, getting burned out, forgetting how to dream about this. Assess your relationship. Identify one dynamic or component of a close relationship that's vital to your emotional or physical health. Integrate your relationship into the quality of your life. 43 minutes. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to pull a Ruby card because, once again, this is just so deep and like there's just still something on the edge. Romy, soul brother, for this reading. Those with a Scorpio love. What is the message here? Soul brother. You know, Scorpio can be so cocky that it's easy to ignore their message. But they do have a real spiritual depth, despite that obnoxiousness. So we have one, the all-encompassing hand, and arise. These are all beautiful cards. I would be reading for 20 minutes if I read them all. So how about if we simply read one? Although the all-encompassing hand is absolutely beautiful. This is about having faith and knowing that, you know, you're being held in the palm of God. There's no reason to worry. And so is arise. Arise is like, listen, you know, don't be so down in the dumps, so brittle and worn out. It's like, you know, look what's right in front of you. This is sort of a yin-yang card as well. Let's read one. Okay, so these are the Rumi Oracle cards by Alana Fairchild. Here's a small Rumi poem first. I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. The one I seek, one I know, one I see, one I call. So here's this oneness, you know. I mean, your Scorpio love is calling out to you. Are you, not seeing that? Let's read this. You look for me, and what do you see? You. Am I playing games with you? Holding up a mirror for you to behold God? Yes, these are games of love and truth. Look for me and find yourself. For I am you and you are me, and together we are one, playing hide and seek in love's great playground. So with this card, and with crow, and with snake, and with grouse, I feel like we're dealing with a very deep relationship. And this card right here, assess your relationship, a twin flame relationship. To whoever's watching this video, please consider just how deep and important this relationship is to you. You might be running away from it because it's so deep and intense. Like molten gold, alchemy, poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are uniquely created and of divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There's no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey, and there's no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. So then, why the frowning, the fear, or the questioning? Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper it into your heart. Now, there's nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you. Shift. There's a sweet shift in store for you. No matter how dire circumstances may appear to be or despairing you may feel, there is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and every part of existence that includes you and all aspect of your being in life is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded. Every part of you, every life circumstance. The divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts, and therefore nothing shall be left unaccounted for, not even that which seems to be outside divine attention and grace at this moment. You must remember that you are a living heart, the dweller at the center between heaven and earth, star and soil, light and dark. If you cannot summon the joy to rise up and meet the divine beloved, fear not. That cunning lover, lies deep within the depths, waiting to gather you into sacred embrace as you descend into darkness. Either through flying or falling, you shall be caught and tangled up in divine embrace, so fear not. Cast aside worry and concern. Know that you are thoroughly itemized on the divine ledger, and not one moment of your struggle or suffering shall miss the hawk-like gaze of the ever-attentive and heavenly beloved. Hawk. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is a friction or conflict within you or your life right now, a sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. You are questioning which path to take, this way or that. What if you choose this path and it turns out the other would have been better? But how can you know now what choice, if any, is most needed in your life? So many questions. Your mind is scurrying. There's no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes, to and fro, trying to settle on the truth. I love you too much to allow this to continue unchecked. Surrender it. Give it up. The truth you seek is this: you shall be. You shall manifest your destiny just as the acorn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are, and as you accept this, life responds. It breathes and relaxes around you, so what you need can come to you more easily. It finds you, drawn to the need in you that is natural and inviting, and not a cause for anxiety or distress. The need leads to satiety. Satiety. What is desired and what fulfills that desire is one. They are lovers that come to each other naturally, even through darkness and confusion, drawn to each other, following the natural course of the universe to become one. So don't fret and fear, my beloved. Do not hold back from that which feels incomplete out of anxiety or distress. It's just that the lover will soon be joined by the beloved. You are recognizing the moment before this occurs, so fret not, and instead let that inner lover loose. Allow her to shake out her hair, put on her most sensuous perfume, and laugh as she dances barefoot in fields of lush grass and fragrant flowers. Let her tempt her beloved to come close, because she can be seen, she can be heard. Her movement sends her scent through the air. She entices the yearning beloved to her. And soon enough they meet, and it becomes possible for, yet again, two to become one. And then there will be wild peace and ecstatic contentment within you. If there's any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, between passion and duty, creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, and then know this: even the conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it's the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can be only one or the other. At another level, a level of divine resolution, there is beyond the apparent polarity and conflict a third way, rising up to where there's only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart. You'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting in that perfection there, where it has always been and where it will always be. Don't worry, all is happening exactly as it should. This oracle brings you particular guidance. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of elements in your life that might have seemed disparate or in conflict. Something you've been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Perform the sacred honoring ritual and stay with your process. The coherence, the integration, the balance and coming together you seek is on your horizon, approaching you swiftly now. Place your hands on your heart and say out loud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, I gaze into my heart and you are there. I gaze into your heart and see my own face. We are one. This oneness is contagious. May it swiftly affect every aspect of my inner world so that my outer existence aligns gently with perfect harmony with the great divine beloved. You and I are one with the perfection of divinity now unfolding, now and always. Through grace and my own free will, so be it. When you are ready, place your hands in prayer position and bow your head in reverence and recognition to the one divine plan unfolding. Say, I surrender into the one truth of divine perfection, which includes my own divine destiny now. Through mercy and grace, so be it. When you are ready, simply close your eyes and bow your head again. You've completed your ritual. All right, well, that was pretty fantastic. I hope this resonates and makes sense for you. Thank you. Take care.